finish here of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerritt at the line.
It wouldn't be called the SSCA AdPro 360 Challenger Series without some challenging tracks. And we certainly have one here tonight as the drivers roll into Road America, and you're going to get to watch all of the action unfold live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Road course racing, baby. Let's see what we have in store. Hello everyone, I'm Samuel Ryman, and alongside me in the booth is Sean Ambrose. Behind the scenes we have our director Joe Peak, and he's using camera sets provided by Dougie Beard. Sean, the first round of the playoffs here in this series features a mixture of challenging circuits, starting at Bristol last time out and finishing at Darlington in 2 weeks' time, and right in the middle of those two memorable events, I'm sure, we have a road course.
Sam, we sure do. You know, and sometime back in 1954, somebody thought it'd be a good idea to get on a bulldozer and carve out this legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course that has been challenging some of the world's best racers for over 60 years now. It's about 640 acres of park-like grounds right between Milwaukee and Green Bay in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. You know, the rolling terrain offers a lot of great viewing opportunities, lots of great passing opportunities when we talk about that on this track. You know, the length of this track, it tends to bring out the worst in cars at times because, you know, a string of mechanical failures down the years have produced a lot of unlikely winners here. The track itself, though, is virtually unchanged this day, though advances in safety have transformed the look of the place from a country roadside to a modern racing circuit, complete with the grass and all the runoff area there. But this is still considered by some to be the best test of road racing in North America. The best way, though, for you to get an idea what this place is like is to jump on board for another GSRC lap around Road America.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Camaro, so let's do a lap around Road America. Coming down to turn 1, it's the fastest part of the course with the car hitting over 170 miles an hour. You've got a heavy braking zone and a great place to try to execute a pass. Be gentle on the power at the exit to avoid spinning the car, and hold left to set up for turn 3. This is one of the most important corners on the track. Your run out of the corner is going to have a big impact on your lap time, so focusing on the exit will pay dividends. There was a writer for a car magazine who once described driving a stock car on a road course like swatting a fly with a sledgehammer. The Moraine Sweep makes the comparison clear with the incredible speed you'll gather down this snaking stretch. Turn 5 will be another great place for an overtake, but be forewarned that the braking is downhill with a slight bend. Those will complicate matters and tends to cause drivers to overshoot this left-hander frequently. From there, it's a short blast up to 6, where the crest will make it difficult to get the car woed up. Balancing the car around here is certainly an art. Another quick run, and you'll just brush the brakes into 7 before hitting the hurry downs. If you're having trouble finding your way around another driver, this bend sometimes offers a good place for a surprise attack. You still don't want to overshoot the turn, but if you do, thankfully it's not far before the carousel, so you won't lose much time. This turn will test your patience though. You're dropping downhill the whole way and the car loves to understeer. But a wise line will take you a bit wide so that you can square off the exit and get a run towards the kink. Granted, I wouldn't advise trying to pass into the kink if you catch someone. Even in these big heavy cars, it's frighteningly fast and will punish the smallest of mistakes with a race-ending wreck. Now we're in the kettle bottoms and you'll want to line up the car for the braking zone of Canada Corner. This is another spot where ambition is often greater than the grip available, and drivers sail it off into the kitty litter all the time. The track is going to climb back uphill though, and once again you'll just graze your brake pedal to get the car to turn into 13. Then, switch back quick and be careful to slow it down in the curved braking zone for the final corner. This is another critically important turn to nail the exit on. Unlike the other long straights, this has a huge climb uphill where any lack of momentum is going to be made worse. Hopefully, you kept it all together. If so, you finished a lap around Road America.
So you see just how wide this place is, and you also get in a demonstration of how much runoff area there is there by a driver running into a bit of difficulty in practice. These drivers finishing up practice. So Sean, there's a lot of space around this circuit, but it's the turns, especially turns 1, turns 3 and turns 5, the first 3 big heavy braking areas where these cars can really get bunched up. And we're definitely going to want to keep our eyes out on the drivers competing for the playoffs when we do get those dicey moments.
Yeah, Sam, indeed. But let's take a look at the points now, and there he is, Will Davis at the top. He stands alone right now with those 5 playoff points already in his pocket after the first round. Now, Sam, remember, a win here at Road America tonight, it locks you in to the next round of 8. So you can earn bonus points, of course, for winning races and stages. And, well, Gabe Wood picked up some stage points there last week. He's got 2 playoff points out sitting in his pocket after the first round. And, he did earn an extra 15 points for being the points for the playoffs by being the highest regular season point scorer. So right now, the guy sitting on the outside looking in, Donald Stewart, Blake Griffith, a win would do it. But, Sam, it's a thin field tonight, and not everybody's here. So somebody actually could take advantage of that this evening and find themselves contending to get into the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if we keep looking at this graphic here, well, the top 7 drivers in the points are all here. And there we see it again. The top 7 drivers in the points are all here. The driver in 8th, Adam Eisenhower, and the 4 drivers on the outside looking in, they're not here. So let's be honest, Sean, for those top 7, their chances of making the second round of the playoffs are really good. As we mentioned, 8 drivers make that after Darlington. So all of a sudden, with only 12 cars actually being signed up for the session, they're not necessarily racing to make a playoffs. I think that we're going to see more of them racing each other to make sure they get more bonus points via winning stages. And, one driver's going to come out of here with a race win so that when we do advance to that round of 8, they're one of the 4, or the second round, they're one of those 4 drivers who advances all the way to Homestead.
Yeah, Sam, and of course I should have probably checked my list a little bit better before I started talking about who was here and who wasn't here. You know what? Let's segue from that into tonight's race details, because we haven't talked about that yet. And, we've got a good one on tap for you tonight. 40 laps here at Road America, and this is, of course, round 2. Or race 2 of round 1 of the playoffs here. In the NASCAR XFINITY car, you've got the Chevrolet, the Ford, and the Toyota here. It is a fixed setup. They are running the iRacing fixed setup. And folks, got to tell you, it's not a bad set. You can pedal it around here pretty well. I've got some pretty good time in the car earlier with some of the drivers here in the series. Now, you do get 5 sets. That hasn't changed. Nothing different there for the playoffs. You start with the first set on the car. Of course, you cause 2 incidents and you might be disqualified from the race. Now, at the end, nothing's changed with iRacing, but here, if you're watching for the first time, they will attempt a green-white checkered finish if needed. Now, we're on a 4-mile road course this evening. I don't know, Sam, if we're going to get to that point here in a 40-lap race that we're going to have to end it under a green-white checker. You never know. There could be a big battle at the end that bottlenecks the track or something, but I would say at this point, expect this race to probably finish under green.
It's also going to be a stage race. The first stage is 10 laps. The second stage will also be 10 laps, and the final stage of a race will be 20 laps, and that's where we'll see a pit stop. Right now, though, the number of laps is unlimited for these drivers in this qualifying session. However, Sean, they can't play around. They can't fool around too much right now because it takes 2 minutes 15 seconds about a lap to get around here. No one, even though we're about halfway through this qualifying session already, no one has actually had the time to come around, cross the finish line and put in a lap yet. So you really can't afford to play around too much.
No, you can't. And you know what you really can't afford to do, Sam? You can't afford to pick up an incident and off track, because if you do, guess what? You got to get started all over again, and you don't have enough time to play around and get that done. The outlap alone takes about 2.5 minutes. You get up to speed, you're going to get about a 2:15 to 2:20, somewhere in that margin. Again, it's only a 10-minute qualifying session. Do the math at home, because we don't do it here at GSRC, but it's not a lot of time to get things done. In fact, Gary Sexton just pulling off, and Jay Queen also pulling off. They picked up incidents and decided to abort their runs, come back in the pit, and see if they could try and get another run in.
Bonwell, first driver to turn the lap, a 2:18.6. It's not a pole sitting time, I'll tell you that right now. In fact, John Theodore already faster, 2:18.1. Ryan Hill, next one across the line. His lap time did not count. Mark Clewell, Trey Galgan approaching the line. I'll tell you right now, the fastest driver in practice was Gabe Wood. He ran a 2:14.5.
Yeah, I think Gerald Campbell's on an outlap, because I see he had to come in once. There's Trey Galgan going to the top of the 2:17.3. Sam?
Here comes Gabe Wood, the fastest driver in practice, out of the last turn. 2:14.5 is what he ran in practice. He only needs a 2:17.3 to take a provisional pole. 2:15.1 is what he runs on his first lap.
You know, and for as big and spread out as this place is, you are shifting quite a bit here, Sam. I'm using, personally, driving style may differ, but I'm using all 4 gears here at Road America.
Now, we've seen 11 of the 12 drivers here out on track during this qualifying session. Will Davis hasn't been out on track for a while, but let's not forget, Will Davis took the race win at Bristol, so he's already locked into this second round of the playoffs. So he's kind of just got to be here for fun, Sean. I mean, and bonus points if possible, but even if he doesn't get the win or doesn't learn experience on the road course, that's not going to hurt him too much when it comes down to fighting for the championship, because this is last road course on the schedule.
Yes, sir. It is. And listen, Will, obviously, he's got the win in the pocket, doesn't have to be here. But, Sam, racers want to race, and Road America will challenge you. It's a fun track. It's a rewarding track if you get it right. And this combo, the iRacing B car, the Xfinity car, is a fun combo on this track. This car was really, I don't know that it was made for road racing, but on this combination, it runs really, really well.
A couple minutes left of practice. Now, when the checkered flag falls, there will still be time for the drivers on a lap to complete their time lap. Only 5 drivers so far have been able to complete a time lap without putting a wheel off. Make that 6 now. Kyle Kemmer just jumped up to second on the board with a 2:17.3. And he pulls it off to the side. He's not going to have time to get another lap in. Anyone sitting in the pits right now, including a few drivers who haven't put on the time, Dre Queen, Ryan Hill, they're not going to have time to get out there and put on the lap. So they're essentially electing now to start from the back.
Well, Sam, there's 12 cars. I don't know that you're going to be at a tremendous disadvantage by starting at the back of the field, but you will be a few seconds behind pretty quick, so it may come down to maybe a little bit of strategy to help you out. But I don't. As long as you've practiced this up a little bit, I don't know that you're going to get that far behind that it'll make too much of a difference, like I said, in a 12-car field tonight.
And even if you are a fast car starting at the back, Sean, you can always play the strategy card here, because, of course, at a 2-minute, 15-second track, it's really easy to pit and still come back out on the lead lap. And we know we're going to have a caution at the end of lap 10 for the end of the stage. Likewise with the end of lap 20. But honestly, I don't anticipate a whole lot of cautions other than that, considering A, the amount of runoff area here, and B, the relatively smaller field size means we should get a pretty clean and green race. So it remains to be seen what kind of strategy games, if any, some of the drivers who don't qualify too well put forward.
Well, Sam, that qualifying you speak of is just about done, and Gabe Wood's 2:15.1 is clearly the fastest lap. He separates himself 2 seconds from his next closest competitor, Kyle Cameron, who actually had a really good lap, 2:17.330, to knock off Trey Galgan, who had that 2:17.387. So really, really close margin there. Yeah,
Gabe Wood showing he's not immune to mistakes, so trying to give it everything he had coming out of the last turn, lit the rear tyres up, put it in the wall. But as we mentioned, he's on pole. What about Gerald Campbell? He's in 4th right now, about to come across the line. Can he beat his 2:18.0? He'll need a 2:17.3 if he wants to improve, but he's not even able to improve on his own time. And that's going to cost him, because John Theodore just knocked him off of row 2.
He sure did. Theodore finally got a great lap in there. That's in fact, yeah, that was 2:17.723. So great lap by Theodore to knock Gerald Campbell off.
The only driver left on a time lap is the driver you see on screen right now, Gary Sexton. We're going to have a good midfield battle here, Sean. I mean, it definitely looks like Gabe Wood is going to be the driver to beat at the top of the charts. He won a road course race earlier this year, kind of been the Trace Elliott of the series. As it had a lot of would-haves, could-haves, and should-haves at the oval courses, but when it came time for road course racing, he showed what he could do, and we'll see if Gabe Wood can repeat on that again today. But here in the middle of the field, a lot of drivers running 2:17s, 2:18s. Gary Sexton, one of them, a 2:18.7. If he could find another second or so, that would jump him up a few positions.
Sexton, that gets him up to 5th. Gerald Campbell gets dropped another spot there, Sam.
Campbell all the way back to 6th. Josh Bromwell also on track, but I have a feeling he's just turning laps here. I think he's actually on an out lap. So, it looks like the round 18 winner of the Sim Speed Shop Pole Award is Gabe Wood. For every 2 poles this season, the driver earns $5, and the driver with the most poles at the end of the year gets $20 courtesy of simspeedshop.com, which is a great place to order custom button boxes as well as to buy and sell used equipment. For more information, you can go to simspeedshop.com. And for Gabe Wood, this is actually, believe it or not, and I don't believe it actually, I think there's a problem in my stats here. It's not his first pole of the season, it's his first pole of the playoffs, I can tell you that much.
All right, well, congratulations to him. You know what, while we're waiting here, why don't we look at the weather real quick? Because, you know, it's not perfect. It is partly cloudy out. It's only 74 degrees, but Sam, it's a little warm on track. Now, I practiced in track. Track was about 10 degrees hotter when I practiced on it a few hours ago. But that little bit of wind gusting out of the west there at times up to 10, 12 miles an hour, that could be a factor. Now, the car does like to skate around a little bit. A lot of torque in this machine. Sometimes getting off the corners can be a little tricky. Shifting and how you do it, very, very important. So you're going to have to be careful. Whatever style you use to shift, you're going to have to be smooth with those, because if you jump it and you get those wheels spinning, it's really, really hard to recover here, especially when the track gets slick like it's going to here today.
Well, the good news for these drivers is they'll have a full pace lap with which to try and get those tyres up to temperature. Let's go ahead and read out our grid for you. By almost 2.2 seconds, Gabe Wood sits on pole position ahead of Kyle Kammer, and then it's a lot closer after that. Kyle Kammer just having 0.05 of a second over the driver lined up in 3rd place behind him, Trey Gelgan. John Theodore will round out that 2nd row. Rounding up the top 5 is Gary Sexton and Gerald Campbell in 6th place. Josh Bonwell and Mark Clewell, the last 2 to turn times, and I think I've gave you an easy job here, Sean, because there's only 12, so let's read the rest off. It's Brian Hill, Zach Nichols, Will Davis, and Jay Queen did not turn qualifying laps. How does the rest of the field look, Edge? I'll tell you what. As we mentioned, very close times there behind Gabe Wood. Will be interesting watching the opening lap, see what happens down in those heavy braking zones.
Yeah, well, and you know, another thing that's real is wheel hop. And you do want to be careful not to. What does that mean? What does wheel hop mean? If you've not heard that term before, literally when you get on the brakes too hard, those tires get too hot. They will skid across the pavement, and the rear suspension will actually hop. And boy, does that create an unsettling feeling for the car when you're braking hard down in one of these turns. And listen, the curbs here are not too bad, but you get a little bit too far right of one of these curbs, really going to upset the car and probably bring it around as they now get fired up here and start to head around for their consolation lap here, Sam. Is it okay to call it a consolation lap? We good with that?
Gabe Wood wants to call it a hurry up and go lap. You see, he went way ahead of a pace car there. Interesting to note, still no sign of Will Davis. He hasn't even joined the field on the pace laps. I don't know if he's electing to pit start or even if he's electing to race at all. But whatever the case, he's still going to be sitting pretty in the points at the end of today, considering the fact that not all of the playoff drivers are here.
Well, Sam, maybe he just decided not to give it a go.
All right, and here they come down. And this is the trickiest braking zone on the track, really, here, Sean. When you're talking about wheel hop, you can see, even from this angle, they're going downhill right now. And when they hit that braking zone down at the bottom of a hill into turn 5, if you're not careful, there you just get an idea of the elevation change. A great camera shot there from our camera guy, Dougie Beard. If you mess that up, you can definitely pay for it in the corner, and unfortunately, so can the cars in front of you.
Yeah, Sam, and really got to start getting the car slowed down just over the crest of that hill. This is a heavy car, much like the Cup car, and it takes a little bit to get it slowed down. Another tricky. Here comes the other hard braking zone down into the hurry downs here, Sam, as the field comes through.
Yeah, and there's another downhill braking zone, which racing downhill is pretty much similar to racing to an off-camber turn, Sean. It's not helping hold your car on the track at all.
And then, of course, this carousel. A lot of fun through the carousel. Some guys like it in second, some guys like it in third. But the object is to keep the car tight, nice and tight down there on just almost the edge of the grass and get a good, powerful exit out of that carousel, which will get you down to the straight and into the kink. But that's where you're going to slow everything down again, because there's no way you're taking the kink flat out in this car.
Interesting to notice, Sean, I haven't really seen a whole lot of tyre weaving or cars gunning it and getting hard on the brakes this lap. I would have thought some of them would have liked to have put in a bit of temperature in their tyres that way, so hopefully these warm track conditions and a full pace lap around this 4-mile circuit has warmed everyone's tyres up enough that they should have enough grip for these opening few turns. Well, we're about to find out.
It'll be all about keeping it clean here on the start to that race down into turn 1.
And it's a long race down into turn 1. They'll pretty much be taking the green flag as they're going uphill, so you definitely do not want to miss a shift or spin your tires or lag a little bit behind the rest of the pack on the start, because you will pay for it dearly. Gabe Wood has control of the field in the 00. Carl Kemmer in the 88 alongside him on the outside as they move up the hill. And for those about to race, we salute you. And now the race is on. Here we go here at Road America. A nice start by Carl Kemmer. The top two are going to be side by side as they work their way up the crest, over the hill, into turn 1. Wood has the inside. And right behind him is Trey Galgan.
Yeah, big checkup by Galgan there. Turn 1's not really a too wide turn there, Sam.
Yeah, Galgan was very deep on the brakes there. Had to make sure he didn't get into the back of Kemmer, but holds third place down. John Theodore, not a great exit out of turn 3. He's going to lose 4th position to Gary Sexton. Challenge for the lead. Gabe Wood, he may have been 2 seconds faster than Kemmer in qualifying, but Kemmer knows if he can get track position now work out. Sexton's off. Sexton's in the wall.
Yeah, Gary took it a little bit too wide coming down the hill. Has trouble slowing it down. He's okay. He's still moving. We'll go back to that at some point. We'll take a look at it, Sam. Right now, Gabe Wood finally got the position away from the camera. And I think he is off and running here, Sam.
Yeah, Sexton drops all the way back to 8th place. Yeah, very... I mean, I wouldn't say very aggressive driving from Kemmer early on there, but he certainly was trying to take that lead from Wood on this opening lap, Sean, and the reason he was trying was because he knew that if that 00 gets out front, it is going to be hard to beat him.
It's going to be church, yeah. And you know what, Cameron, that was the type of start, really, I think he probably wanted to try and challenge him a little bit. And, you know, he had a chance there to stay in front of him. But Gabe Wood, again, just based on his qualifying time and what he did in practice.
Galgan, very wide in Canada. Galgan goes off from 3rd place, and John Theodore takes it from him.
Yeah, it did kind of bring out the accordion behind him there, Sam.
So, top two, Gabe Wood, Carl Kemmer after lap 1. Remember, we're only going 10 laps in this opening stage. Theodore holds down third, Dalgan in fourth, and then behind them now is Gerald Campbell rounding out the top 5.
And Sam, we never really talked about the fuel and what type of run you could get. The stages are safe. You can do about 14, the window's about 14 to 16 laps. Obviously, that last stage being 20, it was originally set for 15, but the league administrators decided to go ahead and bump this up to 20 laps on that third stage and make this into a 40-lap race. So obviously fuel going to be a bit of a factor when we get to the third stage.
Make a note, we've still seen no sign of Will Davis. So currently just 11 cars circulating this Road America course. The top two definitely with an advantage over the rest of the field, but things still close behind John Theodore after he got that podium position from Trey Galgan in Canada corner last lap around.
Oh, we got a challenge for position there. Who was that? That was Ryan Hill. Look, try and make a move to the inside. I think he made the pass there. He does. He gets by Gary Sexton.
No, he was trying to make a pass on Drac Nichols. Well, actually, you're right. He has gotten by Sexton at some point, and though Sexton got in the wall on the opening lap, but he was also looking at Zach Nichols for 7th. He wasn't able to pull that one off. Oh, now he might if Nichols goes into the grass. There is a challenge for 4th.
Dive into Canada. Whoa, Campbell's off. He outbroke himself. Oh, look at all those spots. Going to lose 4 spots, now 5. Here comes Sexton. Not going to be able to pass him here.
Not that often you see that many people that excited to get into Canada, but boy, Gerald Campbell really wanted to get in there in a hurry, and it hurt him.
I got that. Now look at Nichols making this run here on Bonwell. Nichols got a great run off turn 14, and he has just turned that into a run to pick up the spot, and gets right up in front of Bonwell, almost wound up being a brake pad. Oh, Bonwell has trouble getting through the turn. He loses his spot to to Ryan Hill.
Well, I think his drivers are all aware, Sean, that they've been running very close for the opening couple laps, and the drivers at the back of a pack are saying, hey, I can go faster than this, and now things are breaking up a bit. They're trying to take advantage of the situation when they can. Interesting to note, Gerald Campbell has been having connection issues.
Yeah, we had kind of picked that up in practice
bad right now.
In fact, Zach Nichols is having a little bit of trouble too. Both of those cars struggling right now, and that's going to be a little bit of a trouble. Especially in Nichols' case, Ryan Hill right behind him wants to get by. In fact, Nichols is gone, Sam.
And Nichols is off course. He's and Gerald Campbell just lost the connection. Nichols, I don't know if he elected, he's back on track now, but he was off in the gravel down at the bottom of turn 8. I wonder if he elected to do that so he didn't cause a wreck.
And he had disappeared on my screen, so I don't know if that was by choice or I don't know. Bonwell with an off here.
The kink is definitely not a place where you want to have an off.
Yeah, Bonwell with a little bit of trouble there. Looking at the car, I don't see any damage to the car. I don't think he picked up anything. He didn't.
Interesting to note that Nichols and Campbell, this isn't. Oh, Sexton and
Bonwell still struggling. Bonwell's just rattled right now. He got out of his rhythm, and boy, now just backing up. Clewell gets by.
I was going to say, interesting to know, Campbell and Nichols, this isn't a regional thing for them because Zach Nichols is in Michigan, Gerald Campbell is all the way down in Florida. Oh, and contact!
Oh.
Galgan gets spun by Ryan Hill.
You think he's spun? Well, you know what? Here's what happens, Sam. You're going to see Galgan have to check up, actually. Just behind John Theodore here. Galgan maybe gets a little bit hot. He's going to have to check up, and then there's no place for Ryan Hill to go but where he ended up, and that was smack dab middle of the bumper there, Trey Galgan. Yep. Bam. Both cars suffer a little bit. In fact, Ryan Hill picking up a little bit of front-end damage on his Chevrolet Camaro.
Let's go back to the opening lap of the race when things were quite dramatic for the first couple of turns. Gary Sexton, who's running in 5th place right now after all this chaos, he got into the wall somehow. What exactly happened here?
Well, Sam, he gets off to the right there. He knew he was getting in too hot, didn't want to turn Galgan around, so he tried to seek safety out there to the right. And, well, what happened was he got a little too far to the right. It grabbed and pulled him into the wall, and he did pick up some pretty good right front damage on the car because of it.
And yet he is still out there. I mentioned he was running in 5th. He's actually running in 6th position right now. And with a little off track there. Actually, no. No, I take that back. He is in 5th place. He got by Galgan earlier this lap, of course. Meanwhile, no changes for the top 2 positions. Gabe Wood leads by 6 seconds over Carl Kemmer. John Theodore has been holding down 3rd place ever since he moved up by Galgan in the early stages. Ryan Hill running with a little bit of damage in 4th. Gary Sexton also a little bit of damage in 5th. The interesting driver to watch up here, really, Sean, has been Trey Galgan, because even though he qualified 3rd, it seems he's been struggling.
Yeah, and now he's got damage on the rear end of the car, of course, from where he took that shot from Ryan Hill. But, Sam, you know what? Galgan's got some time here to recover from that. Sexton is only about 1.3 seconds in front of him, so there's a chance here to get to the top 5. Sexton is another driver who's, honestly, I'm a little surprised, kind of struggled here early. Of course, it all started with that incident we just watched here a moment ago. And I better shut up because Gary's drifting into the turn now. Josh on fourth with Josh Bonwell. Of course, that happening right up the road from him there. I saw that on board live. And Sexton just having a handful with the Dirty Air Studios Toyota tonight.
9 cars left on the lead lap. Let's talk about the 3 that aren't. Zach Nichols has officially gone and retired from the race. Gerald Campbell reconnected. He's out 1 lap down. What's significant about that? He's the only car 1 lap down, so he should be able to get the lucky dog at the end of stage number 1. But the other thing is Will Davis, 4 laps after the race started, has finally made an appearance on track, Sean.
Yeah, I guess life happens, and, you know, when you've already got that win and a lock into the playoffs, maybe, you know, if something happens, you have to step away, and it's okay. And now Will's going to get out here and try and salvage, I guess, whatever he can at this point. Battle for 3rd going on here. Let's go.
Ryan Hill with a nice run out of a final turn. Up the hill comes Ryan Hill to the crest of a hill. And he loses a bit of momentum there. He kind of did good on that hill thing. And then once it went away, it's stalled out alongside John Theodore here in the 27. They run side by side through the first turn. Looks like Theodore is going to come out on top for now. For
now. Ryan Hill is a pretty crafty road racer, and even though he's got a little bit of damage on his machine, I think he's going to be okay here. We'll see what Theodore's got for him here. They'll get this nice run here, but it's time to get into the hard braking zone. You see Ryan Hill just taking a totally different approach down into there, Sam.
Yes, he was able to catch him, just hasn't been able to pass him yet, but they continue to go nose to tail around the Road America circuit. Meanwhile, Mark Clewell just had an off in turn 5, which cost him 8th position to Drake Queen.
Here we go. Got it on the replay, Sam. Let's take a look at it here. Coming down the hill. Too hot. Just missed that braking marker a little bit. This is actually a pretty good track to set some visuals for yourself here for your braking zones. There's a lot of objects, a lot of trackside places to take a look at and use as a reference point. But the battle these two are having right here is still going on. Theodore still trying to hold off Ryan Hill. Hill with a little bit of trouble there. Car got very, very squirrely coming out of Canada.
Now, Sean, I'm very curious in the next couple of laps to see if we see anyone who elects to take their first pit stop of a race now and make it to the end of stage number 2 before pitting again, because you can get through this race with just pitting twice, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone's able to short pit and try and stretch it to the end on just one more stop. Right now, though, that's not on Hill's mind. He wants to get by Theodore the hard way.
He's sure trying. He's just trying just about everything, throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him. He's struggling off exit again, Ryan Hill. I talked about that earlier. You got to be smooth with your shifts and getting that clutch back engaged. You don't want to spin those tires. Every time you do, you're going to lose just lots of time. Hill's got to get back to braking deep here. Oh, Theodore with a little bit of trouble making a turn.
So are you saying that Ryan Hill's Achilles heel could be the hills around here?
I'm saying exactly that, Sam, yes. Hill going to maybe do it here. He does, Sam. He's got that fender in. Gotta get back to the power quick.
Yeah, but he's on the outside in the carousel, and we've seen him get side by side with Theodore before. Just seems Theodore's a bit more confident with his side by side racing thing, but right now Hill's holding his own on the outside.
That's a nice run through the carousel there by Hill. He just gets away with it, man. Now I got to get through the kink without just overdriving it, and Hill does a good job of reeling it in. That kink is so easy to overdrive, Sam. And if you miss the braking zone here going into Canada, you're just toast. Hill does a good job of getting through there.
Well, he did on the entry and through the turn on exit. Looked like he lit the rear tyres up a bit, but didn't hurt him too much. That'll hurt him. Definitely these two putting on one of the best scraps on the track right now.
Yeah, and you know what Hill got right was the final right-hander there at turn 14. Got it just almost perfect, and look at this. He opens up a huge gap on Theodore, heading down to 1.
Trey Galgan takes 5th place from Sexton. Sexton responds by playing the strategy card and bringing the 13 machine into the pits at the completion of lap 6.
Ooh, our leader's struggling a little bit. Gabe Wood just now having a bit of a slide down into turn 5 there. Got in a little hot, beating up the tires some.
He's got to be careful or else he could lose a bit of that 11-second lead.
Well, it's nice to know that, you know, some people are human, right? They do make mistakes every now and then.
Well, on the ovals this season, I'd certainly say that's one of the things that's been keeping Wood from getting one of those victories. Sure, I'd love a second one here tonight. He finally got that gorilla off his back. It was the way we put it at Watkins Glen 2 races ago. Long time in the pits for Gary Sexton. Now he's finally going again.
Yeah, I think
be
it was getting that damage.
And that's not a bad decision, honestly, Sean, because he's going to be bunched back up with the field in a couple of laps anyway for the first caution. He's on the lead lap.
Yeah, and it really could have been affecting. Some of that might have been required damage. Car doesn't look too bad right now. Hopefully the car is handling better for Sexton. And Sam, like you said, it may not be altogether that bad for him to have picked up that repair.
No fast repairs in this series, however, no incident limit either. So all of these drivers we've seen having off tracks in the early stages, they're safely going to make it to the end of a race without being disqualified.
Well, Sam, it's been a clean first segment here. I've been pretty satisfied with what we're seeing on track. Now, the field is spread out quite a bit. And, of course, Gabriel Wood has, he's done a pretty good job of setting himself apart from the field. The camera had a little bit something for him on the start, but it didn't last long. And before the end of the first lap, Gabe Wood was able to get up to the front and start to pull away from everybody. And right now, that gap's sitting at about 15 and a half seconds.
Yeah, which was interesting. It was only 11 seconds over the line. Kemmer did have an off-track earlier this lap. I didn't think it was that significant, but I guess it was. He's lost 4 seconds because of it. And you do have to be careful when you have an off in these kinds of conditions, Sean, that you don't pick up too much rubble on your tyres and you have a difficult time getting going when you do rejoin the track.
So, Sam, did we see... I'm trying to remember. Did we see Ryan Hill finally get past John Theodore? I think we missed that, didn't we? I guess we did see it. All right, Hill up to third now. Theodore, actually, ever since he got passed by Hill, is struggling just a bit there with his machine.
Yeah, that was that outside move on the carousel that Hill pulled off early on. Now, note from race control as they come around to complete lap 9 of 10 that they're actually going to throw the stage ending yellow before Wood gets to the line this time by. And the reason they're going to do that, Sean, is if they waited for Wood to cross the line before they threw the stage ending caution, they'd have to do a whole nother lap before they caught the pace car, and that would not only make the yellow longer, but it would mean less racing for us in stage number 2. So we will see the stage ending caution come out pretty much, I should imagine, as Wood is exiting the final turn at the completion of this lap.
Yeah, and if we get too many cautions, we may get to a point where we're putting out presents for Christmas. So we've got to avoid that here. Luckily, we've gotten through the first stage unscathed, and good call by race control here to bring that caution out when they're going to do it. And see, Will Davis has actually left the race also, Sam. So his attempt at doing a few laps is done.
Yeah, he's probably, he doesn't even need those extra points for getting a 12th place finish. As we mentioned, he's already locked into the second round of a playoffs after his win at Bristol. Second place has been closing up. Not sure Ryan Hill will get Carl Kemmer by the end of this lap, but definitely putting his name in the mix to be a threat later on. In fact, in the long run here, his lap times have been comparable to Gabe Wood. Gabe Wood still holding the fastest lap of the race by about 2 seconds though.
Well, I said it earlier, Hill, a pretty skilled road racer, and well, he's proving it. I mean, he has been catching camera leaps and bounds, pretty good gains. In fact, that last lap, Sam, they were separated by 6 seconds. Hill with a 2:18, camera with a 2:24. So here we go. The race is on for second, but I believe the stage is going to end before he can get there, unless camera makes a small mistake here, and there's the yellow. So the field is frozen.
So Gabe Wood gonna win stage number 1. What does that mean? Well, let's be honest, it looks like it's pretty handy that he'll get into the second round of the playoffs, and when and if he does that, he will have an extra bonus point on his side. And perfect timing of a yellow by the organisers. You see Gabe Wood already pulls right up behind the pace car. Hopefully pit road should be open for them this time around.
And Gerald Campbell going to get a wave around the pace car, Sam.
Yeah, I think this is another thing to speed up the process of the caution, Sean, that because he would be getting a lucky dog anyway, so the league organisers giving him an early wave round here. He should be able to just keep on driving till he gets by the roof pace car. Get back onto the lead lap.
Here's what you have to be careful of here. Don't overdrive the car trying to get back to the back of the field, because you don't have a fast repair in your pocket. So you've got to be careful when you're trying to boogie around here and get back to the end of the field.
So Gerald Campbell in 10th place. The only car currently 1 lap down, but that'll be fixed in a moment. He's also the last car in the race. Now with Zach Nichols and William Davis both having retired. Josh Bomwell has done exactly what you said not to do, and he is actually backing up. He has really overshot turn 5. I wonder if they'll let him have that 6th place back, because Jay Queen went by him on the circuit.
Yeah, I'm not sure here. It's kind of, I guess we're about to find out what's going to happen.
I'm almost wondering if Bomwell's just experimenting right now, seeing how late he can get away with braking, because he had an off at turn 6 as well.
Not going to run with that, Sam?
There's a possibility he could have had debris on the tyres entering turn 6, but I don't know. I've seen it in Formula 1 at Monaco. If you ever watch a free practice session ahead of a Monaco Grand Prix, you'll see drivers all the time overshooting the chicane, exiting the tunnel. It's not because they're bad drivers and they can't make the turn. It's because they're seeing how late they can get away with braking for that corner, Sean. I wonder if Bomwell's doing a version of that around here at Road America, saying, okay, we're under caution. How late can I brake for these corners?
Well, braking late will cause that wheel hop situation I talked about earlier. Braking late, if you could do it under control, that's fine. But if it comes at the expense of the car is whipping around on you or making contact with that guy next to you, then maybe not a good plan. Campbell making his way through now, getting through the field here.
All right, here come the leaders into the pits, being led by Gabe Wood, Carl Kemmer, Ryan Hill, John Theodore. What order will they come out? It could depend on how well they all hit their marks. Interesting to note, Gary Sexton. Oh, I was going to say he stayed out. Yeah, because he pitted just a couple laps ago. Ryan
right.
Hill, a lot of difficulty finding his pit stall. He missed it. That's going to cost him time.
That's not what you want. Not after the charge you were making there through the field. Our leader's going to get out first, Sam. No big surprise there. Was our leader.
Yeah, Gary Sexton now our leader, and I have a feeling he's not going to be back in the pits until the end of stage number 2. So, it's Sexton, Wood, Kemmer, Theodore, and Bonwell, the top 5. Ryan Hill, after that slow pit stop, drops all the way back to 9th. Pace car lights are still on, so we're going to be under caution for a few more minutes. We're going to take a quick break, go and cook some popcorn, check out our commercials. We'll get ready for the second stage in just a few moments here on the GSRC. Well, the pace car lights are still on, but they're getting double file here. It sounds like race control may elect to restart this race so we get a good stage 2, and they're just going to clear the black flags in the sim. Is that what's going to happen here? No, they're just warming up their tires. Like, I heard something being debated along those lines, Sean, because we are about to have a fairly short stage 2. As now the pace car lights finally go off, it's just going to be a 7-lap shootout in the second stage.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand the command being given there for race control, so maybe we just heard it wrong. But yeah, they got to go around one more time here, and then we'll unfurl that green flag. And there has been a bit of a change, though. Let's see, Ryan Hill. Not sure what happened there. He'd gotten a black flag. He's back in the pit. They cleared the flag. But yeah, Hill had to make an extra stop there, Sam.
Yeah, I think him and Gerald Campbell just came in top off for fuel, but it almost seems like they're actually letting those two guys get away with speeding in the pits just because there's no competition back going on right now for 9th and 10th place, so at least while they're under yellow, so they're just clearing them, letting them have a competitive restart when we get back going here in just a few moments' time. We've been noticing, Sean, these drivers having a tough time really keeping up with this pace car. Roof pace car does not slow down in these corners.
That's a high-performance machine with lots of grip, Sam. Much more grip than the Xfinity car. So naturally, they're having trouble keeping up. It's a tin top versus a tank.
The lap times all doing under caution are only about a minute longer than what they are under green.
That is an interesting point, Sam. That might the straightaways might in fact help that.
Alright, so race order when we get back going. Sexton is going to be leading the race. He hasn't been the fastest car of the day, so it'll be interesting seeing what the likes of Wood and Kemmer can do with him on the restart. And also his tyres are slightly older. Then we have Gabe Wood, who's going to restart second alongside him. He's been the fastest car today. Kyle Kemmer, though, let's not forget, Kemmer put up a good fight against Wood at the start of the opening stage. Ended up losing that fight eventually, but don't be surprised if he tries to stick it in there and mix it up with our top two on this restart. John Theodore, solid performance so far, just hanging out there in the top 5. Josh Bonwell will be restarting 5th, even though he's had a solid run going tonight, Sean. We've seen him have a few off tracks.
And off track's not going to help you here, Sam. We've already seen several drivers. The end result of that being lots of lost time, lots of lost positions.
All right, here they go through Canada corner for the last time under this stage 1 yellow. 7 laps until the completion of stage number 2. A bit of a sprint race, with only 7 laps to click off, and that'll be over in 15 minutes. But that being said, you still have to save your tyres a little bit in these hot conditions. Keep your cars going, because there's still way over half this race to go. Pace car peels off. Sexton has control of the field as they come up a hill, crawling at 65 miles an hour right now. Now he's on the loud pedal. Already 100, 120, 130 before he crosses the start-finish line. Such as the acceleration of these cars. Sexton pulls in front of Woods for the first time, and in comes Kemmer in the grass.
Oh boy. Watch out on the outside there. Trying to get through. It's John Theodore. He's going to get by Kemmer, Sam. Battled for the lead already, though.
Around the outside comes Wood. Wood did the better job of getting around the outside of Sexton than what Theodore did. Theodore really lost time in that battle with Kyle Kemmer for 3rd place.
Ooh, a little bit of contact between him and the 65. It's upside down. The 56 of Josh Bonwell. Bonwell's going to win that battle, though.
So Wood, Sexton, Kemmer, Bonwell, Theodore, your top 5 as they make their way up the hill to turn 6.
Well, Sexton tried to hold up Gabe Wood a little bit. He gave it a good fight.
Well, it's still a gain in positions compared to where he had been running, with him holding down 2nd right now. Problem is, a lot of great overtaking opportunities around this circuit. How hard is it going to be for Sexton to defend and retain that 2nd position for these last 6.5 laps before the completion of the 2nd stage?
On board with Gary there, looking back at Kyle Kemmer. Let's see how they get into Canada here. Gary gets in a little warm, but does a nice job. Kemmer cut it off a little bit. Keeps pace.
Oh, Wood running wide. Excellent in the penultimate corner. He gets back on track, though. Shows you just how much he's really trying to track out on the drivers behind him.
This run by Kemmer. Cameron gets a great exit off 14, gets right up there on the bumper. Gary Sexton comes up alongside, and now they're drag racing up the hill. Down into 1. Cameron's got the line here. He's going to send it deep.
They were hitting 175 miles an hour before that braking zone. Cameron comes out on top ahead of Sexton, who falls back to 3rd. He's got a bit of a gap over Bonwell back and forth, though.
It's really what makes this track so fun, Sam. The fact that you can get upwards of 175 miles an hour on a road course in an Xfinity car. Bonwell blows the exit in 3 back there. Sexton, a little bit of contact.
Back of him.
Cameron fights right back on the outside.
Sexton was late on the brakes there. Bit of a work to his advantage. Bump and run. Cameron struggling after running off course after all that to get the power back down. A bit of wheel spin there. Lighting up the rear tyres. Really trying to get aggressive. Really trying to get position number 2 back. And he's going to have his chance here. Sexton overshot turn 8.
Oh, it's the carousel, and Cameron lays a little bit of chrome horn there to Gary Sexton. Watch out, here comes Ryan Hill trying to find his spot.
Yeah, remember, Ryan Hill had a terrible pit stop. I think he was getting a little bit of repairs done to his car. No, he overshot his pit stall, that's right. But he has rallied his way already back up into 4th position.
Had a good restart, moved up quick. Oh! He almost gets to the Cameron, and he sends it in there, and Cameron makes contact. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
There was contact between them eventually, but it was still a lot lighter than what it could have been. Can Hill complete this pass? He's definitely one of the faster cars out there today, but the same can be said for Cameron. And now let's see if Hill can run down Sexton for 2nd.
Got a little bit to go here, but what a great job by Gary Sexton on the restart of the 2nd stage. He gives Wood a little bit of a fight. He's able to fight and hang on to 2nd. No more Mr. Nice Guy out of Gary Sexton, man.
But while all that's been going on, though, Sexton already 4 seconds back of a race leader, Gabe Wood, after just 1 lap. John Theodore off. A big off. He's had a spin that's going to drop him all the way back to 10th place. Last car on the lead lap, last car in the race.
Yeah, you know, the car started to go around, and Trey Galgan, he started to lose rear end. Trey Galgan was the car right behind him. Galgan's probably going to give him a little help, but again, the car had already started to come around when Galgan got there. I think when Theodore goes back and sees the replay of that, he'd probably agree.
Well, we called it before the race, Sean, that looked like Wood would be the car to beat, but in the middle of the field, it's really hard to say who's faster than who. A lot of great racing between these drivers today. Lots of different comers and goers.
I think one of the faster cars in the middle of the field right now is probably Gerald Campbell. That VFW Ford has actually got pretty good legs with damage on it, and is advancing on Josh Bonwell. He's picking him up.
However, his fastest lap of the race has been a 2:19. We saw at Watkins Glen, road courses have definitely not been his forte. Meanwhile, Hill has really ran down Sexton this lap for 2nd place, but as we saw between Sexton and Cameron, even though these drivers on the newer tyres are faster than at 13 cars, difficult to find a way by him, although Sexton apexed Canada way too early there.
Yeah, and it's going to open the door for Cameron, too. Cameron going to try and get through here. Oh, Cameron getting in a little too close, a little too hot. It's got to back out of it, and that allows Bonwell to get by. Oh, and Cameron almost lays the chrome horn to Bonwell coming through 14. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Bonwell having a cleaner stage too than he did in the opening stage.
Boy, look at Ryan Hill go, man. He cleared Sexton, and now he is just gone, shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, and that's why Bonwell and came out. Oh wow, big moment for Bonwell. Bit of commentator's curse on my part there for him, but he only falls back to 5th.
Boy, and Bonwell was really close to losing it altogether, Sam. Got pretty fortunate there. Sexton back to 3rd.
Question is, how long will he be able to maintain that? I'm pretty sure Kama is faster than him, and I know Kama is pretty sure that he's faster than him because he has been aggressively trying to make a move on the 13. Although, credit where it's due, I say he's been trying aggressive moves. It was Sexton who got into Kama that put him back there to begin with.
Well, Sexton definitely driving the car hard on older tires than the rest of the field right now. He's making it work. Cameron not able to pull off, like you said, a successful move here on Gary. And Gary doing, I think, probably everything he planned as he gets through the carousel. Just a few laps left here, Sam, before the end of the stage.
Yeah, and let's not forget again, for those just tuning in, the stage will not end at the completion of lap 20. It will basically end at the completion of lap 19.9, and that's to allow the time. Oh, Trevor Campbell, big moment, exit in Canada. A nice save of the race by the driver of the 6. Let's get a replay of this, Sean. This was all kinds of sideways.
Yeah, well, here we go. He gets through the kink. Of course, you got to get down on the brakes hard here coming into Canada. And, boy, that right there is a little bit too much throttle. Getting back to it, Sam. He does. In fact, he's going to have another issue here in turn 14. I think he's just going to overdrive it. He's going to get in hot. He's going to get all the way out to the left there. You're going to see him get into the sand and positions lost.
Yeah, and then he elected to come into the pits after that. No, I just think he needed a new set of underpants really there, Sean. Now, this will allow him to...
Oh, no! Oh, Sam, I'm sorry. Sexton gets in way too hot into turn 5. Kyle Cameron gets by him clean. I mean, the door was wide open there. Going to the replay here. Sexton's got the lead here coming down the hill. Not the lead, but 3rd. And you see, he just outbrakes himself there. He's got to go all the way out wide. Opens the door for Kyle Cameron, who's now riding in 3rd.
And I wouldn't be surprised if at Kyle Cameron's home he was probably waving as he went by the virtual car of Gary Sexton's there. He's been... have you ever done that, Sean? Had a driver go off in front of you and you know they can't see you, but you kind of just wave at them when you go by?
I've so done that, Sam. Yes, I have. I have. You know, we're starting to look... I'm starting to look at the lap times a little bit. You know, maybe Gabe Wood's not as invincible as we thought he was, Sam, because Ryan Hill really has that Chevrolet turned up right now.
Yeah, in the long run, Gabe Wood's lap times definitely even out with the rest of the field. He's immensely faster than the rest of the field in the short run. By a couple of seconds, he runs 2:15s. No one else is able to run 2:16s.
Hill again has a faster lap, Sam. Full 1/10 of a second.
The key here, we're essentially 2 laps away from the stage ending caution. The key here is Hill needs to get a good stop and a good restart for the final stage. Now, I want to go back to the point about Trevor Campbell, Sean, pitting a couple of laps ago. He could be the Gary Sexton of stage number 3. He might elect to not pit under the end at the end of a stage. Everyone will still have to pit one more time most likely under green in the final stage to make it to the end on fuel.
Well, Campbell's trying a little something different. Maybe sometimes you got to do that when you know you don't have the pace. Now, in his case, he may have the pace to stay with the rest of the field. We don't know yet. He hasn't revealed his cards, so we'll see. Hill still closing on Wood, but he's going to run out of time. We're going to get the caution flag when Wood comes across him.
I just realised there's actually a bit of a glitch with the timing. I said no one else has ran the 2:16. I'll take that back. Ryan Hill has been able to run 2:16s. I don't think the lap times are being recorded as official on my timing because he's been having off tracks during those laps.
Yeah, he's definitely picking him up. I will tell you this, everybody behind him, Sam, slower, a lot slower. So his only competition right now is catching Wood. But again, it's going to run out of time here because Wood's already got a 14 and making his way up the hill. And should take the caution flag right here.
Well, in 1 lap's time, they're currently coming around to complete lap 19. But the completion of lap 19.9. Oh, as Carl Kemmer just ran off from 3rd place, but no harm, no foul.
Wood just a little bit faster that time.
Yeah, half a second. So Hill definitely not going to catch Wood, barring any major mistakes from the drive of a 0-0 this lap. But definitely a threat for the final stage. Things closing in for 4th place on the last lap here, though. Sexton now has Bonwell approaching him from behind.
Yeah, Bonwell been at this here for a little bit, trying to get by Gary. I know Gary would prefer not to drop another position. He's going to make it through this stint, this stage, without that pit stop, and just trying to hang on to 4th, try and make that gamble a little bit worth it. You still got to be careful getting off the exit there. Gary's tires, obviously, like we've mentioned, are a little bit older, about 4 laps older than everybody else on track right now. Bonwell struggles off the turn. Gets a run at him here.
Gonna start running out of time because Gabe Wood is approaching Canada corner. Only a couple of laps. Oh, and a mistake from Bonwell there. Sexton may have sealed 4th place for this stage.
Oh, I don't know. They still have to get down to Canada. Get through it. Oh, and boy, Bonwell struggles out of the carousel.
I don't think they're going to get down to the bottom of Canada quickly enough, though, Sean. I take it back. A caution might be coming out right as they enter Canada. Here comes Wood through the final turn on lap number 20. Sexton holding on ahead of Bonwell.
Barely. Bonwell getting a run here into 14.
Stage-ending caution hasn't been thrown yet. Now it finally is. Unfortunately, I think that's gonna add an extra lap for caution here as they all catch up to the pace car. So, Wood wins the opening 2 stages of this race. That's 2 extra points for him in the next round of the playoffs. Ryan Hill in 2nd, Carl Kemmer 3rd. Sexton holds on ahead of Bonwell in 4th and 5th. Then it's Galgan, Queen, Clewell, Theodore, and Campbell rounding up the top 10. All of them on the lead lap. I think it'll be a couple of laps before pit road opens. So let's go ahead and take our break now here on the GSRC. We will be back for pit stops and see who comes out on top for the start of the final stage. Pit road is open. Here comes everyone, being led by Gabe Wood and Ryan Hill. Only driver not coming in is Gerald Campbell. Let's see what order they come out in here, Sean.
Well, this pit stop, obviously, we can't underestimate the importance of this pit stop here as everybody rolls down the long pit road. Ryan Hill looks to be the first one into his box and stop and makes it clean. Everybody else going to get in. Trey Galgan gets in really hot into his box. John Theodore finally pulls into his. Looks like everybody hit their marks getting in, Sam. And I see the first car rolling there is Ryan Hill. Oh, and it is going to be Gerald Campbell that gets out just in. I'm sorry, Gabe Wood that gets out just in front of him.
Sexton, a nice stop, a third to come out on pit road. But you mentioned Gerald Campbell. He is currently leading the race. But don't be surprised if he comes in, I would say, to top off with fuel at the end of this lap. The last lap under caution here, we should imagine the pace car lights will go off at the completion of this lap. But also, Sean, I would say don't be surprised if any drivers at the back of the field like Mark Clewell and John Theodore may opt to come in and top off with their fuel at the completion of this lap and see if they can stretch it to the end.
Sam, looking at the numbers, I was told you could get 16. Now, how they got 16, I don't know. But, yeah, I'd say come in, top off. Definitely. You got an opportunity here. Get in, get one last little splash of fuel. You might be able to make it to the end here. This is going to be very, very close.
But if that was your strategy, why would have you just pit now? Because Gerald Campbell didn't do it, and granted, we don't know for sure that Campbell's going to come in at the completion of this lap because he only pitted about 5 laps ago, so his tyres are fairly fresh. But right now, we definitely know Campbell would have to pit for fuel again before the end of this race, unless, of course, we end up having a caution in the final stage.
Well, that's the big X factor, isn't it? We haven't seen an in-race caution yet, except for the stages, and you never know when one might happen and the track gets blocked up and you get an accident that takes out several drivers. Then you may very well wind up with a caution period here on the road course tonight. But the likelihood, Sam, I don't think you're going to get that. I honestly think you may see a mass exodus right here. I think everybody might peel off, come in, and top off. I think all of these drivers know what's up, and I think they all may take a gamble here on trying to stretch it.
Kyle Kemmer might as well, because you see the 88 is all the way at the back. I'm assuming he got some kind of speeding penalty on pit road, had to drop back there.
It was a long pit stop for Kemmer, indeed.
May have had a couple of fenders to pull out after that aggressive racing, battling against Gary Sexton during that middle stage.
True.
All right, moment of truth time. Who's coming in?
Well, there goes Gabe Wood.
Everyone coming in and top off with fuel, almost. Yep. Gerald Campbell and Josh Bromwell, the only two to stay out.
And Sam, I think they're gambling that the rest of the field's not going to be able to make it. Going to wind up having to pit just like them. Well, Campbell's going to have a shot here.
So the driver really... Wood has really overshot his pit stall.
I didn't need that mistake.
And he's even taken tyres. Why would you take tyres? You did that just a lap ago.
I'm thinking maybe not riding with a crew chief and probably didn't get a chance to uncheck those tires or just simply forgot. It happens. But Ryan Hill gets out quick. So of the cars that pitted it, Ryan Hill wins that pit stop there with Gary Sexton right behind him. The lights are out on the pace car. We are getting ready to go. Who can make it? Who can't, Sam?
Of course, this could really come back to haunt those drivers who just took an extra set. If we did get a late caution where taking tires would become key, I think they just use their fifth and final set. The advantage they have with that regards is it does seem track position means a little bit more here than fresh rubber.
Yeah, I don't know that 3 laps difference on tires is going to make too much of a difference, Sam. I don't think that's a winning strategy.
So Gerald Campbell and Josh Bonwell about to lead the field back to green. Neither of them have broken out of the 218s, I don't believe, all race long, although I think the information I'm getting on time and scoring here might be a bit inaccurate. Yeah. Let me check out.
Bonwell's had a 218. Campbell has. Campbell's fast lap was a 219.5. Really, Ryan Hill is going to be. Watch Ryan Hill on this restart. Look for him to try and clear both of them before he gets to turn 1.
Yeah, and Gabe Wood, after overshooting his pit stall and taking tires, we believe by mistake, this lap around is going to restart all the way back in 8th. He has been the car to beat all race long, and now he may have just beat himself. The good news for Wood, he's got 16 laps to try and work his way back up to the front. But as you mentioned, Ryan Hill going to be sitting in the catbird seat for this restart. What about Gary Sexton? He held his ground in the top 5 very well in stage number 2, despite being on old tyres. What can he do this time, restarting in 4th place on those newer tyres?
Well, I think our director said it best just a moment ago. This is going to be interesting. We're going to get a great finish here today in the AdPro 360 Challenger Series. Sam, we're ready to rock and roll as they head to 14. The roof pace car going to pull off this time, buddy.
16 laps left to go to the end of the race. Who's going to be able to make it on fuel? Who is not? Who's going to be able to win the race on track if it comes down to that? Well, right now, Gerald Campbell has that top position. He gets a nice restart. Bonwell does not, but he's still holding on ahead of Hill as they come up to turn 1.
Yeah, Hill did not get the start I expected he would, but he's going to send it in deep. Right alongside Bonwell, closing in on the leader, Gerald Campbell, already going to the inside, heading down to turn 2. He's got the position.
So Hill gets up to the lead pretty quickly. Meanwhile, I'll tell you, Gabe Wood hasn't made any inroads towards the back. He might be electing to save fuel early on during the run. Gerald Campbell, now with that nose damage, well, they may even go 3 wide there, but Gary Sexton thought better of it.
Oh boy, watch out! Watch out! Campbell just shoves Ryan Hill right off the track. Hill gets right back on it. Now they're 3 wide, Sam. Head to the carousel.
Campbell backs out. Sexton takes the lead. Hill didn't have a whole lot of room to play with there, but he did have some room. Sexton certainly didn't force him off the racetrack. So the 13 in the lead. Hill down the second. 3rd place now, Bonwell looking on the inside to Campbell. Heavy braking zone. Gerald Campbell dropping back here. Shot that one.
Yeah, Campbell obviously struggling here on this the start of the 3rd stage. I'll tell you who's not struggling. Gary Sexton, man. He just came through all that, put himself in the lead. Now it's Ryan Hill trying to chase him down. Sexton, I think Gary's been sandbagging on us, Sam.
Well, let's see what Gabe Wood has to say about all that, because he's in fourth, he's in third now, because Bonwell just overdrove the King. So Gabe Wood already up into third, despite restarting 8th place at the start of this lap.
Yes, we should have been. Oh,
sorry, Sexton ran wide at Canada. That allowed Hill to run him right down for the lead.
But here comes Gabe Wood. Woo, he's picking him up, knocking him down real quick. Oh, and Ryan Hill fishtails it off of 14.
Hill's got to try hard. He's got to try and get this lead from Sexton, because with all due respect to Sexton, Hill and Wood have been the fastest cars all day long, and if Hill can't find a way by Sexton without getting held up too much, Wood is going to be all over the back of him, and if that 00 gets back up to the top spot, only fuel, I think, would stop him from winning today.
Well, they're all running that same gamble right now, Sam, so we'll see. But it's still Gary Sexton holding off these angry bandits behind him. Ryan Hill closing. He's going to run on a straightaway. He's going to try and make the pass down on the inside. He's going to dive. And I think he's going to be able to get it done here. In fact, Hill does. Oh, and Sexton contact. Sexton putting in the chrome horn there to Ryan Hill. Wow, and here comes Wood down on the inside.
That was... Sexton tried turning in, honestly, when Wood was still there.
And Sexton winds up losing 2 spots because of that, actually. That drops him to 4th. And here comes Gerald Campbell, still recovering here.
So, yes, Sexton attempted a crossover on Hill and just mistimed it. Then he attempted to squeeze Wood really in the corner. He kind of mistimed that as well. Got into the side of him, and in both instances, Sexton came off worse. It's allowed Hill and Wood to run 1 and 2 now with 14.5 laps left to go. And I think Wood is a lot closer to Hill than what the driver of that 55 feels comfortable with, because Wood has definitely been the fastest car for the race.
Well, behind Campbell, Sam, it's a mess. Theodore leading Galgan. Galgan driving it hard, maybe a little bit too hard. Car very, very loose right now, and Kyle Kammer caught behind all that. This after we saw Kammer battling up front in the first couple of stages. He finds himself mired back here in 8th currently.
14 laps left to go as the field comes up the hill across the line. Kyle Kammer, let's not forget, he was one of the stronger drivers all race long. He's going to try and make his way up through this field.
He picks up a couple right there. Good move by Kammer. That gets him up to 6th. So much for being mired back in 8th.
Well, he's still mired back in 6th. He can definitely do better than this in that 88 car. Let's see how many more positions he can get. Mind you, he might have 2 spots gifted to him ahead of him coming up, because Gerald Campbell and Josh Bonwell will definitely still have to pit again, I believe.
Yeah, and Campbell is still struggling with the car, Sam. I'm watching him a little bit here, and the car very, very loose, and Kammer is picking him up really, really quick. Sexton, I'm afraid Sexton's car maybe not exactly where he wants it right now, and he seems to be kind of falling into the clutches here at Campbell, but it's Kammer that's making up the most ground just behind them.
Meanwhile, the 2 leaders still nose to tail. In fact, Wood is on the inside of Hill as they come through the carousel. Hill trying to close the door.
He shuts it.
On the last lap, I don't think Wood would have backed out of that one.
I agree, Sam. I don't think he would have backed out of it either. Who's going to be brave in the Canada corner here?
And how much fuel saving are these 2 able to do while they're doing all of this? I can't imagine a whole lot.
Yeah, and Gabe Wood spins his tires out of the exit of Canada corner, and that's what got him slowed down. Good job by Hill getting the car to turn there in turn 14.
And Hill attempting to break the slipstream. And Sexton comes into the pits. He realizes he's got the pit before the end. Campbell in as well, and Kemmer and Queen. So these drivers saying, no, you've got the pit before the end of this. Now, Kemmer might actually be coming in to fix some damage. He overshot Canada corner this time around and grazed the wall a little bit.
Let's look at the battle for fourth. Galgan and Theodore here is still a good one to watch. Galgan kind of been up and down the middle part of the field here through most of the race. Theodore had spent some time up towards the front, but it seems to be Galgan pulling away just a little bit here at the moment.
All of this going on behind Hill, Wood and Bonwell, currently running in third place, although we know he definitely has to pit again. Meanwhile, coming out of the pits, Cameron was right behind Campbell. He's going to try and quickly make a move on him. Number 88 and 6 side by side as they go down the hill. Cameron going to try and make it work on the outside and late on the brakes. Can he make the corner? Turn number 5, a left-hander, he can. And now the 88 should be able to pull away because he has been the faster driver, I would say, throughout this race.
Yeah, and I think, oh, and here we go for the lead. Gabe Wood, Ryan Hill still at it. It's a tough spot to pass. It may come down to 14.
Oh, Hill getting a bit of a grass there, getting sideways. Are we going to see any of these drivers come in to top off this time by? But then I don't get, Sean, if they knew they couldn't make it to the end, why did everyone come in the top off of one to go under the caution? Someone's got to be thinking, hey, we can make it to the end here. It's not Trey Galgan, he's coming into the pits.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Sam. I'm not. I certainly wish I'd have tried 16 laps myself. But I didn't have the pace of our leaders. So that, of course, pace is going to dictate how much fuel you're burning. Wood not spending enough time close enough to Hill right now to save any fuel per se. Oh, and Hill with a mistake. Outbreaks himself here. Gabe Wood's going to take the spot away. Costly mistake for Ryan Hill after fighting so hard to keep Gabe Wood in the mirror.
Now, Wood Hill, if he's not able to run Wood back down, is it to Hill's advantage almost to go into fuel conservation mode now? Because he knows Bonwell behind him can't make it to the end. But he's got a good 10-second gap back to John Theodore. You can save a lot of fuel in 10 seconds.
You can, Sam, but boy, there's still a lot of laps left. I mean, when they come across the stripe, there's still be 11 laps to go. It's a long time to try and save fuel and be mistake-free.
And let's not forget, this is not a track where you want to run out of fuel even coming to the line.
No. Well, that's the thing. If you run out of fuel down at the bottom there at the turn 14, guess what? You're not making it back to your pit stall. It's all uphill from there. Honestly, it's all uphill from out of Canada. Once you get down to Canada, the rest of the course is uphill.
Well, that's because Canada's near the pole. You have to go uphill to get to the...
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wood marches on. No pit stop for him. No pit stop for Ryan Hill. But, boy, the gap is opening up quickly there Wood back to that comfortable lead he was enjoying in the first couple stages tonight.
I almost wonder if Wood has, at the pace he's going, Sean, and the fact that there's so many drivers confident that they can't make it to the end on fuel, if Wood's strategy is simply check out as much as he can, have as short of a pit stop as possible, hopefully he'll remember to deselect tyres this time, that he's able to come out in front of everyone else regardless.
You know, the only thing that bothers me about that is the length of this pit lane, Sam. It's an eternity getting down that thing. I mean, the deltas are upwards of almost 40 seconds.
Still a ways to go to figure this all out. 10.5 laps left. That's over 40 miles.
Galgan and Cameron here. Well, let's see. Cameron trying to make another run. Oh, he gets a really good exit there. Picks up a lot of ground on Trey Galgan. And of course, Trey blowing the corner doesn't help his cause. Cameron, of course, started this race up at the front of the field and has struggled here over the last couple of stages. He has reeled in Galgan, though. Here we go. Maybe going to send it. Not here. Look for him maybe to try it down in the hurry downs. Oh, and he gets a run right there.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Sean. This is a battle for the first two drivers who are pit under this stage.
Correct, Sam. Right. We know these guys can make it to the end.
And Hill cannot. Hill is coming in.
Wow, he gave up the ghost.
So, where will Hill come out with relation to Theodore and Galgan? Sorry, with relation to... Kemmer and Galgan. Now, Theodore is actually battling Clewell now here. Now, these might be two drivers trying to save fuel to make it to the end. Theodore was ahead of Clewell. He had an off earlier on in the lap, so he's just trying to get that position back here, and Clewell's going to give it to him.
Ryan Hill's car is away. Hill finally out of the stop. Here comes Galgan and Cameron. Right out to the left. Hill's got to get going here. Pedal, pedal, pedal.
He's easily able to stay ahead of him.
Yeah, does a great job of getting away there. And that's a good pit stop for Ryan Hill.
I think Hill's best bet to still win this race here, Sean, is if Wood pits and overshoots his pit stall. Though I don't think we've seen the 00 do that yet today. We've seen Hill do it. Wood's problem was forgetting to deselect his tyres under the previous stop. Obviously, you don't want to take tyres this late on. You kind of just want to splash the fuel.
Yeah, I think that'll be the plan for Gabe Wood. Galgan here, still under threat from Kyle Kammer. You know, Galgan's just been good enough today. Good enough to keep people behind him. And well, he's showing some of the battle scars back there. What it cost. You got to pay the price sometimes with a little bit of damage to keep people behind you.
Wood is in.
Oh, Wood is in. Okay, there we go, Sam.
So, unless he opts to pit this lap, this will give Josh Bomwell the lead. Bomwell definitely has to pit before the end of the race, and he's coming in this lap too. Give a shout out to Bomwell, actually. He's had a few offs today, but been a
Let's
top
go back to
5
Cameron
contender.
and Galgan. I'm sorry, Sam. Let's go back to Cameron and Galgan. They're fighting down into Canada corner. Camera makes the move to the inside. Galgan maybe going to cross him over. No, he's going to get stuck behind. Here we go to the left-hander, uphill. And Cameron's going to get away.
Yeah, speaking of uphill, up the hill now goes Ryan Hill. Wood far, far ahead of him.
Yeah, not tremendously surprised. It's about 7 seconds. Wood gets out in front of Hill.
Now, but the two cars in front of Gabe Wood right now, John Theodore and Mark Clewell, I wouldn't be surprised if those two have actually been saving a bit of fuel. Kama has a big off down in turn one. That just cost him a lot of time in a couple of positions.
Clewell's struggling already. And, well, it's not going to be long here. Gabriel Wood going to pull off this pass.
This battle for second.
Whoa,
Whoa,
boy.
very close. Doesn't need to be that aggressive, I don't think.
Let's look at the replay of that. That got pretty scary for Gabe Wood. His car almost came around there at the end. On board with Mark Clewell here looking over his hood. And we'll go back live. Close moment there for Gabe Wood. But he's gotten away now. And, well, I think Clewell probably not going to be able to keep up with him here at this point. Gabe Wood can go get to work on trying to catch John Theodore, who is 2.3 seconds up the track in front of him.
Yeah, and boy, if it turns out that Theodore and Clewell do have to pit to make it to the end, they're going to lose several positions. Big off by Gabe Wood.
It doesn't get much bigger than that without wrecking. Man, he for a big slide there through the turf.
And
back to second.
The scary thing for Wood about that is it allows Hill to close in a bit. So here comes Wood again. Trying to run back down Clewell. Let's see if he can. It's a little bit less scary this time. Hey, gets him on the entry. Let's see if Clewell tries to do any kind of crossover. Mind you, Wood had to do that. You can see Hill was definitely closing in.
Yeah, and Hill is on the way and in a big hurry. I mean, his last lap was a 2:15.8. That's burning it down late here in Elkhart, Wisconsin.
It's taken this long in the race for anyone to get in the 2:15s. Until now, Gabe Wood have been the only one to accomplish that. Alright, let's see if Hill loses a lot of time battling Clewell.
No, he's not going to lose any. Clewell did a good job. He just got right out of the way. He knows what's up. He let him go. Now Hill can get to work on going to catch Gabe Wood there right in front of him. It's going to be good battle, Sam, here in the closing laps.
Let's not forget these two not leading the race right now. John Theodore is with 7 and a bit laps to go.
Galgan and Bonwell. Them on screen here going through the carousel. Bonwell, rear end was a little loose there. Both going to manage the kink. In trouble there for Trey Galgan. Woohoo! Car got very wild, very free. He's going to open it up for Bonwell here down into Canada. He's going to try and outbrake him. Can they both get through this? And it looks like Bonwell's going to get the better of the two. Galgan going to fall back in 6th. Sam, and here it is, the battle for second place down to turn 1. Ryan Hill's got Gabe Wood in sights. He's going to break late, though. Gabe Wood going to break really, really deep down into turn 1. Ryan Hill lost that opportunity. They've got John Theodore, the race leader, just in front of him. They have caught Theodore, who we suspect still has to pit that car.
Yeah, and Theodore really missed the apex in turn 3. That's going to allow these two to close in right on him. Alright, here they come into the heavy braking zone in turn 5. The accordion is going to come into play here as Wood catches Theodore, but not in a good spot. He can't get around him. He's got to find a way by quickly before Hill gets there. Remember, when these three barreled each other earlier on... sorry, I take that back. I was with a different car. Boy! Wood squarely under braking. That allows Hill close right back in. And Theodore runs wide as they go into the carousel. Can he pull it off on the outside?
Oh, he can. He can, and he does. It's not done yet. The deal is not sealed. Theodore with a good line down there at the bottom, but Wood is going to take it. Has the momentum on the outside. He's going to pull it off.
If Hill wants to win this race, he really needs to get by Theodore in a hurry here. Maybe even into Canada corner.
He's closing, and he is... Wow. They're going to go side by side into Canada. Theodore lets him go there at the end.
And Hill making the most of the runoff area there. Makes the turn as wide as he possibly could, while at the same time passing the car to keep his momentum up, keep his chances of taking this race win away from Gabe Wood up.
Now Ryan Hill's tired.
Worth noting, Sean, that John Theodore is still going without pitting here.
Yeah, Sam, he is. Theodore and Clewell both have not pit. There's 6 laps left. They're out on track now, working on completing lap 11. I don't know, man. I don't think they can make it to the end. I really don't. They may try, but I think they might fail. We're watching Cameron Galgan again. Cameron going to take the inside into 1. Is he going to keep it? Is he going to hold it down there? And he's going to get a clean pass on Galgan.
A solid second half. Oh, and jinxing him. I was going to say, Cameron pulling off a good move there, but definitely not the same kind of race we saw him having at the opening of this race.
Sam, that's a good battle, but I really think we're going to have a battle for the lead here pretty quick. Hill has found his way back to the back bumper here. Gabe Wood, and then as I say that, Hill drives it in too deep.
He still has time, though. 5.5 laps left to go. He's going to have to drive hard and not make any more mistakes. But Wood, we've seen this race himself. He hasn't been immune to mistakes.
Well, I could definitely tell you the drivers are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel here. You can tell by the driving. Even Gabe Wood up there still overdriving it just a bit into Canada corner.
Yeah, and that's allowing Hill to run him down. Now, of course, one nice thing is if we do get a late caution here and have the green-white checkered, we'll still have all 10 cars in the race competing for it.
We will, Sam, but yeah, if you're wagering, I don't like the wager. I don't think we're going to get a caution flag before this is over. I could be very, very wrong, but I think the admins at this point want to see this thing finish green. I certainly can imagine most of these drivers probably want to see it finish green also.
All 7 of our playoff drivers here today: William Davis, Gabe Wood, Gerald Campbell, John Theodore, Josh Bonwell, Mark Clewell and Trey Galgan, all picking up some points That will help them advance to the second round of the playoffs in 2 weeks' time at Darlington. The other 5, who are Adam Eisenhower, Donald Stewart, Blake Griffiths, Michael D'Amico, and Danny Rogers, have to wait 2 weeks to see which of those can put on the best show and make it be one of those last 8 drivers. Right now, the battle on for the lead. It continues between Wood and Hill.
Listen, you said, you just said it there. Things heating up now. Boy, Gabe Wood, he's got to be patient here. He's got to be careful. Don't mess this up. Maybe a little less mirror, a little bit more focus on what's in front of him. Gabe's made a couple of mistakes here that might have opened a door for Hill. Hill not taking advantage of it yet. Hill with a decent entry to the carousel, but then kind of loses it there in the middle. Now getting a strong run there off the exit, right in the wake of Gabe Wood. Ooh, a little bit too far to the left, man. I think Hill loses a little bit of momentum there.
Hill did not turn the lap in qualifying. He started all the way back in 9th place. It was kind of a bit misleading for us. We thought the mid-pack battle would be the one to watch all race long, and it definitely has been. A lot of action throughout the field. We thought, as Gabe Wood makes a mistake there. We thought this 00 could have run away with it. Certainly during the opening 2 stages, that was the case, but it was also apparent that the driver of his 55 had something, particularly in the long run for the driver of that 00. And right now, he is definitely showing that he is a force to be reckoned with, and the main driver for certain that can keep Gabe Wood from winning this race. The final 4 laps here, and Wood is definitely dancing around more than the 55. Looks like Hill has his car under him a bit better, but Wood has something that Hill does not, and that is the track position. He has the lead. He's got 3.5 laps left to hold on to it.
Can he hold on to it? We've seen so many mistakes here late in the race by Gabe Wood. Certainly not prone to mistakes, but he's trying to keep him out of the mirror. No luck.
Oh, that's a big mistake! Nice
look at
save.
that. Yeah, Hill does a great job, though, of just backing out of that, right, and letting Wood get the car settled.
Yeah, but he needs to be taking advantage, though, of the situations like that.
Well, I think really what's killing Wood right now is he's heated up those tires a lot. Getting off the exits of these turns, especially down in Canada, he keeps spinning the tires, and that's what's costing him here. He didn't do it that time right there. He actually gets a clean exit.
Yeah, well, these turns in the infield here, Wood has got them down pretty good. It's the heavy braking and acceleration zones towards the start and the end of a lap, the passing opportunities where he's really been sliding around. And it's almost as if, instead of trying to attack on the entry here, Hill needs to back off a little bit, see if Wood overdrives the corner, and if he does, try and get him on the exit.
Lots of fans here in the YouTube chat cheering on their favorite drivers. Ryan Hill trying to get it done. Gabe Wood going to shut the door on him one more time.
You see Wood still sliding around, and Hill's doing better at it. He's backing off a little bit more on the entry. He's got a nice run here. He's got the draft. 3 laps left to go as they come across the line. Wood putting his car in the middle, getting ready to defend Hill no matter which way he goes. Trying to stop short of it being blocking.
You get one defensive move, to be fair, right, Sam? I mean, one defensive move. 2, maybe you're being a little bit of a not nice guy, but that I saw one there, and Wood's going to do what he can to hang on to this lead right now, but Ryan Hill's probably going to try and decide it for him. He gets up alongside him here, Sam.
That was one defensive move to the wrong way, I had a feeling. I think Wood just opened the door for Hill there, but fortunately for Wood, he was able to cover him off, get a nicer run down the hill into the heavy braking zone for turn 5. This is where Wood was sideways last lap, but he did a much better execution of it this time around. That tight turn 6 left-hander there never gets the credit that it deserves. It's very tricky to get that one right.
Sam, let's look at the battle for the end of the podium, though, real quick. John Theodore is holding off Josh Bonwell. This has been good, really, really good. And Bonwell, we've seen him make a few mistakes tonight, but man, maybe he's shown up at the right time here. He's willing it at the moment, trying to look for an opportunity to get around Theodore. There is nothing settled about third.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Theodore in third and Clewell in fifth. We're not entirely convinced they can both make it to the end on fuel still. But things getting dicey for the lead, heading down to Canada. Wood was a little wide in the kink, and Hill almost took advantage of it. Through Canada.
But Wood keeps spinning those tires and is able to get him to grab enough there at the end. Wow.
Theodore continuing to hold on to third. Wow, Bonwell just made a power move by him, though, in Canada.
Yeah, well, you know what? Theodore had wheel hop. I could see it. The rear end of the car. You're going to watch the rear end of the car move as he's getting down into Canada. Right there. Just a little bit of a move, and it gets the car straight into the apex.
And let's go back live, because down into turn 3, the battle is on and it's off again. Hill realised, I guess, that it wasn't going to happen there. He backed out of it, but he definitely had a nicer run than Hill coming out of turn 1. No, he's going to have a much nicer run there.
Oh, this might be the opportunity here down into turn 5.
It's almost like Hill's backing off more than he could be, Sean. I almost wonder if he doesn't want the lead yet.
I think you might be right. I think he doesn't want to have to fight Gabe to hold the first spot. He might be waiting here till the very last lap to pull this off. I think he's done enough research back there behind Gabe Wood. I think he knows where his spot is.
And even if these two came together, they've got 20 seconds to try and recover themselves before they have to worry about the rest of the drivers behind them. Okay, so Hill to the outside of the carousel now on Wood.
Hill able to keep the power down outside there. Good job by Hill. Doesn't complete the pass, but boy, that was a good run there from the outside.
Hill's been giving Wood a lot of lucky breaks this lap. I have a feeling it won't be the case next time around, though, because here they come. They're coming up to the white flag. We'll try and keep an eye on the drivers and the rest of the field, too, but this is definitely... Oh, there's contact between them!
Oh.
This is definitely where the battle's at. Coming around to start the final lap at Road America in the SSCA AdPro Challenger 360 Series here. Round 2, race 2, round 1 of the playoffs. And the race is on between Gabe Wood, a playoff driver, Ryan Hill, who's not. However, Gabe Wood looking good in the playoffs anyway, so he's got it all the race for here. I'm sure he's just here to win the race. If he gets wrecked, that's okay. He'll probably still make the playoffs. Right now, he just wants to win, but his car is sliding around a lot more than the 55 behind him. Hill knows that. He's trying to get aggressive. He's trying to make Wood make a mistake.
Center punch. Center punch right there, man. Whoa. What a great job by Gabe Wood to hang on to that car. Wow.
Hill's been applying the pressure for the last several laps, and Gabe Wood has been succumbing to it by making mistakes. Hill just hasn't capitalized. Well, now he has no choice. Next time that 00 slips up, if Hill wants to win this race, and he's not racing for points, so why wouldn't he? He's got to do it. Wood being very defensive. He hasn't slipped up too much this lap yet, even though Hill's rat-a-tatting on his rear bumper, trying to knock him off.
Yeah, but you could tell Hill's not trying to wreck him. He's trying to rattle him, but he's not trying to wreck him. He's right there at the bumper, right there alongside the fender. Oh, he gets pushed out.
That's not going to help him.
Oh, that might seal the deal there. I think that's going to seal the deal for Gabe Wood. He's still got a little ways to go around, but he's going to get to Canada first. As long as he gets a decent exit, he should be able to keep Hill in the mirror. What a fantastic battle that was.
Yeah, Hill was definitely trying to set up, I would say, to get a nice run through the last couple of corners, but it's not going to be. I mean, it's a 1 second lead by Wood now. And even if Hill could get a massive run going through the final turn, that's not going to be enough. The 0-0 of Gabe Wood for the second road course in a row here, as Ryan Hill almost thought about coming into the pits. Gabe Wood comes across the line, takes the win here at Road America. Hill gets second. Now Bonwell's going to get third.
He is. But Theodore is hanging on by a thread here to fourth. Here comes Galgan. He's going to try and send it. No, he's not. But is Theodore going to make it up the hill? Does he have enough fuel, Sam?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is that why he's back here so much? It looks like he does have enough fuel. He'll get fourth ahead of Galgan.
So he makes it. That was the Iron Man. John Theodore, 16 full laps, Sam.
Clewell pulled it off too, but a bit further down the order, he got 7th place. And Trevor Campbell and Jay Queen will round out our lead lap and overall finishers in 9th and 10th. We will be back here in the GSRC in just a couple of moments for a full race rundown as well as drive interviews. Thank you all for tuning in. We hope you stick around and enjoy the post-race festivities here at Road America. Hello and welcome back to Road America. It's not often you can say that a 12-car race at a road course with 4 miles in length and quite a disparity between the fastest car and the slowest car during qualifying was going to put on an exciting race. But boy, did the drivers in the SSCA AdPro 360 Challenger Series do exactly that for us today. And we didn't know who the winner was going to be until basically the carousel on the final lap. And it ended up the winner was Gabe Wood by less than a second over Ryan Hill, who just made one major mistake on the final lap, which ruined his chances at taking the victory. Behind him, Josh Bonwell gets 3rd place, and boy, that's a story in itself considering how many off tracks he had earlier on in the event. John Theodore saved fuel to finish 4th, didn't have enough fuel to get all the way back around to the pits. He needed a push there. Trey Galgan rounding out the top 5, and Carl Kemmer in 6th place. Mark Clewell 7th, Gary Sexton and Gerald Campbell and Dre Queen rounding out the top 10, the drivers on the lead lap. And then only 2 drivers who didn't finish the race, Zach Nichols and Will Davis. I believe both of them, well, Zach Nichols had connection issues. Will Davis has already locked himself a position into the playoffs at Bristol. I think real life commitments may have been getting in his way at the start of this event. But Sean, we've caught up with some of our top finishers here. Let's I did run down the order. Let's get you in contact with our race winner here, Gabe Wood.
Okay, Gabe, congratulations, boy. That was about as hard-earned victory as they get. You had Ryan Hill just breathing down your neck there over those last several laps.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been in that position. I was kind of gauging off of what Ryan was going to do since me and him were running together, and 3-second lead going into the pits, and I took no tires, and he took tires, and I was at such a disadvantage. That was the hardest I've ever driven. that was a lot of fun. Respect to Ryan for racing McLean and not taking dumb moves there. That was fun. I just hate that I made contact with him in the carousel.
Yeah, well, listen, man, you were driving it really hard. You said that yourself. There were a couple moments there. It looked like you might give that thing away. What did it really feel like in the cockpit? How tense were you there over those closing laps?
Okay, answering the first question, what did it feel like? A dump truck flipped over with 4 flat tires. Yeah. What was it? You know, it was exciting. It was. I wish I had been on new tires to race Ryan with him, but it was fun to kind of hold him off. And I told Ryan afterwards, I was like, I hope you know, we showed a lot of respect to each other. I basically do the F1 rule where I get one move on a straightaway. After that, I deserve to get dumped. You know, I start weaving back and forth. So every time on the front straightaway, I was taking the inside lane going in. I was hoping it would stick, and it did. That was a lot of fun. That was hard earned, and I should have turned the fan on.
Well, buddy, that's 2 on the road courses. There, you got some sort of special combination here for the road courses. What is it? You got the win at Watkins Glen, and now here at Road America.
Well, I ran a lot of road racing about a year ago. I actually ran the AOR Formula Renault series for about half a season here on GSRC. So, you know, that was part of my whole deal, and it actually has helped my oval side because you have to really, especially with these stock cars and a lot of full-bodied race cars, you have to learn throttle control, and that really helped out today.
Well, congratulations on the big win. Obviously, you will advance now to the next round of the playoffs. I don't know that there was much question of you doing that, but sealing it with a victory is a good deal. Congratulations, Gabe.
Thank you, guys.
Sam, that's Gabe Wood, our winner tonight, and you have caught up with the man that was chasing him there at the end, Ryan Hill.
Yeah, Ryan Hill, take us through those last couple laps, all of your attempts on to try and take a lead from Gabe Wood, and what finally did it in for you.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. I had fresh tires, and I didn't realize until about 5 to go that Gabe didn't take tires. And, I'm coming into this series. It's only the second time I've raced in this series, and these guys show a lot of respect to some guys show a lot of respect to us when they come into Cup Series, and Gabe's one of those drivers. So I could have passed him anytime I really wanted to. I could have dive bombed him, but could have, made a weird move and probably ended up wrecking both of us. But, I wanted to have a little more respect. I don't normally race with a lot of these guys in the Xfinity Series, so I just wanted to kind of, if I wanted to pass him, I'd rather him mess up so nothing would say, oh, well, he'll mess with the playoffs, or he did this, or he did that. It just, if I make a pass, it's got to be clean. I didn't want to hit him because, these guys are racing for a championship in this series, and I didn't want to be the guy that, messed up somebody's chances to win.
That being said, we saw a lot of battles out there today, have a little bit of contact out there. You didn't elect to put in the qualifying time. You started at the back of the field around 9th position. So you were right there for those first couple of stages in the middle of the pack. How intense was the opening couple of stages to that race? It looked like a lot going on back there.
Yeah, like the first lap, like I said, I don't want to be in anybody's way. I don't want to try to run people over. So, I would rather the championship guys go and wreck themselves, and I take advantage of it. And sometimes, like the first couple stages when I had fresh tires, actually right there, stage 3, when I took the lead, my breaking point on new tires, which is their breaking point on old tires, it's not much you can do from the braking standpoint. It's like once you hit the brakes, they're already on the brakes. You just kind of have to go for it. And, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
Absolutely. Well, will we see more of you in this Xfinity, this AdPro 360 Challenger Series throughout the rest of the season, Brian?
Probably not. I would like to say yes, but I mainly just come in for the road courses. I have a ton of fun racing these things. Just trying to get car count up a little bit, I think. And these guys got a championship to race. The last thing I want to do is intervene with their championship and probably end up destroying it for somebody. That's the last thing I want to do or need to do.
All right, well, I'm sure the fans and the drivers are very appreciative of that. But thanks for coming in today, Ryan, and putting on a good show for us up front there with yourself and Gabe Wood. And we wish you the best over in the Cup Series.
All right, thank you. Y'all gonna love next week. We're going to Charlotte Roval. There's a little bit of practice, but we don't say that to anybody. We're going to Charlotte Roval, and we've done a little bit of practice, and if Gary's deciding to go the way that I think he is, it's going to be really interesting. So y'all don't want to miss that. Make sure everybody set your clocks next Thursday, 9 o'clock. It's going to be fun.
All right, so that was our second place finisher, Ryan Hill. Rounding out the podium, Sean, you have called up with one of our playoff drivers, Josh Bonwell.
Yep, and Josh Bonwell he didn't win the race, but Sam, he was our best finisher. He started 7th, and you finished on the podium, Josh, and you were up and down all over the field this evening. What was it like out there?
It was stressful.
Well,
it was stressful.
For a podium, though, and you got to love that here in race number 2 at round 1.
Yeah, again, that's all we were trying for tonight. We'd like to get the win, but I think Gabe and Ryan brought some different cars to the track tonight. So, but we just stuck it out and tried to stay calm through it all.
You pick up much damage on the car? I didn't notice it was wrinkled a little bit. Did you have any handling problems there in the late stages?
No, not really. I think most of my handling problems came towards the end of stage 1. I was just pushing the car too hard and burned the tires up, and it was hard time just getting around the track under the caution there.
So what'd you do at that point? You change strategy a little bit, maybe start backing up the corners a little bit more?
Yeah, back up the corners, just try to roll through the centers a little easier, and things started to come together at that point.
I personally think this car and track are a great combination. What's your opinion, Josh?
It's the funnest road course race I've ever had, and it's my first race I've ever had on this track, so I love this place.
Well, it certainly left you with a good impression, and we'll let you get away and celebrate. But before you do, is there anybody you'd like to thank tonight, Josh?
Yeah, you guys over at GSRC putting on these great shows for us every week, and Gary keeping the whole operation together. He does so much for us. And my team, Turn 4 Racing, and my girlfriend and my mother.
All right, Josh. Well, again, congratulations. We will see you next week, I'm sure, in one of the series. So have a good one, and until then, take care, bud.
Thanks, Sean.
All right. Up to you now, as I'm playing games with our director. I'm sorry. It's Sam. There you go, buddy.
Yeah, we're trying to kick our director out of a broadcast booth. They never need him much around here anyway. I'll probably regret saying that at some point. Alright, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. We'll be racing on a Wednesday to finish off this first round of the playoffs for the AdPro 360 Challenger Series over at Darlington. So we hope you tune in for that, as well as Ryan was mentioning, these SSCA guys, they have races over in the Cup and the trucks as well that you guys should definitely check out on our weekday nights here on the Global SimRacing Channel. In fact, we have all of our upcoming broadcasts about to be listed on your screen. In addition, we've got listed here, thank you all of the organisers, the companies of the SSCA and the AdPro 360 Challenger Series. AdPro 360, they're an advertising agency. They specialise in digital and social media marketing. For more information, you can go to adproresults.com. All of the companies that provide the software and hardware, we appreciate all they do. You can see them all listed on your screen. Additional thanks also to Eric Ekholm and June Lalonde. They provide us with our music. Check out the screen. You'll see how to get hold of more of their work. Thanks to the team today, Sean, Joe, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can visit us at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on social media. We're on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel, and Instagram at GSRC_gram. All of the upcoming races for our other series, as we mentioned, we're about to list those all on your screen. So check those out, mark them down on your calendar. Don't miss another second of exciting racing action. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.